Welcome back to the channel, boys. I know it's been a little bit of time since we did a video, and that's just because we've been busy. Probably the most common question I get asked all the time is if we still do in-house builds and tunes. And the answer to that is yes. I just haven't been showing you guys because it is just me. As a lot of you already know, I went back to just being myself about 6 months ago. So just me here, and to be able to stay on schedule, sometimes that obviously means I can't record everything. But jumping right into today, I am very excited to be bringing this to you and to be able to record this, show you guys along the route. I have VA here. We've had an awesome year of racing with this car. A lot of new personal bests going on this year with this car, getting it to work and actually go down the track. Our personal best this year in this car was 895 at 158 or 159 mile an hour. That is with the stock STI transmission that we put back in this thing, and we had our very underrated stage 4 in here. So I have that thing actually over here because I didn't show you guys at the end of the other video. Here is the hole in that block. It's over in the graveyard. Some of you guys might even notice that some things have changed in the shop. So I did go ahead and take this week, earlier in the week, some time away to actually get rid of the painted floors. Now when I say painted, I mean it was supposed to be an epoxy that we put down when we first moved in here, and it had failed. So it got to be to the point where it drove me insane, and it just didn't look very clean all the time. So I went ahead, gutted this place out. Big thank you to Justin for helping me with that, because that was a huge task. I mean, it took us 3-4 days. That did include obviously moving stuff out and moving it back in, but we did sand these floors for 20 hours alone. Got the shelves in the back there. Got everything on this side for the winter, everything underneath the heater there. Did go ahead and change it up. It feels a million times better in here, actually a lot bigger. So if you do notice that in the background, that is what's going on. Back to VA though, like I said, guys, great year with this car. Unfortunately, obviously we did find the limits of that stage 4, and we broke the rod bolt on the 3/4 shift, so it sent it out through the top, which after 18 passes at 1,000 wheel, I cannot complain one bit. So now I get to move on to something that is definitely on the crazy side. I'm gonna admit, this is probably not the best decision, but this is something that I've wanted to do since the beginning of playing around with stock motors, is to put one into this car and see how fast we could go with one. Now, keep in mind, the reason why we didn't do that before is because this car's never really been that sorted out. It's not like we've made a really impressive pass with this car. I think prior to this, it was 9.3, and that was with another stock transmission. But with the dog box, we never really did anything too impressive. It went 9.2 in Texas, actually, on the dog box. But like I said, it's never been really sorted. Like, I've never felt comfortable in this car. You know, we're always working through issues, so it just never made sense to put something questionable in the car, in a car that doesn't work. So now that I'm feeling a lot better about this car, it seems like we're working a lot better than what we were. We still have a lot of room to grow. This is going to be the time. So what I have here is a bone stock OEM STI short block. I'll turn this thing up so you guys can see. Bam. So brand new OEM STI short block. This is not even an RA short block, guys. You can see stock rods, everything all stock in this thing. And what I have behind me here is a brand new set of 17 STI heads, W25, not even RA N25 heads. So like I said, guys, this is definitely gonna be a bit on the crazy side of things. Stock motor meet VA. Now I am gonna leave the same turbo kit. So as you guys know, this thing has a Precision 7685 next gen on it. Definitely a big turbo, stock heads, stock block. There's gonna be some restraints, some limits, right? Obviously I'm not gonna be able to rev this thing out to 10,000 RPMs. It's just inevitable that these stock heads are not gonna be able to support that. We're gonna have valve float and all sorts of other issues. So we are gonna have to dial some RPM back, which is gonna help with our stock trans anyways. This being shorter gearing is gonna contradict. Help, but not. You know, if I had a dog box, we would be able to do more without revving it as high. So there is pros and cons. Downside here, a very large turbo, trying to get it to leave, and we have stock rods. That's going to be my biggest worry, is this thing bending a rod on launch control. So this car, as you guys know, has a pretty rowdy launch control on it, so that's going to be up in there. You have to really back that down. But it is true, guys, I am putting this stock motor into this car, and we're going to hopefully finish out the rest of our season, which we only have 2 or 3 more track days. I need 2 more passes for my NHRA license, so if this thing can go 135 miles an hour, if I can do that repeatedly twice, then we will get our license. So I figure instead of ending out the year on our stage 4 over there that has that broken rod, why not take this, because that one did take out a cylinder head, and to be able to get one back with the port work that we normally run, it just wasn't going to happen in the timeline that we have. So that is why I'm choosing to put this stock motor in here, and it's something I've always wanted to do since I began playing around with stock motors, as you guys know. And this is kind of like one of those bucket list things where I'm like, you know what, I want to put it in this car. So I know that we're going to get the comments. There's going to be some people in here that say this is the dumbest fucking thing you ever done. There's going to be shops that are not thrilled about this. Again, guys, I've always been upfront, transparent with the stock motor stuff. Is this going to last? No, by no means this is not going to last. This is not what you should do. This is what I'm going to do. If you had the means, the money, the time, and the willingness, I'm sure there's several of you out there that would do the same thing. So I know this is not going to live by any means, but can we get a record out of it? Can we go faster than what a stock little baby motor's ever gone? Will it even leave the line? Who knows? That's what we're going to find out. So like I said, we got brand new OEM Subaru STI short block here. 17 STI cylinder heads that have been gone through, just have new seals and cleaned out. Everything's good to go on these things. We are going to be running stock head gasket and stock head bolts on this too, so I'm going to be showing you guys that. I know in our Forester build before, some things were kind of questionable because we had picked that car up and obviously the motor was already in it. We had seen some questionable things with the head gaskets, and those of you that don't remember our Forester build, be sure to go back and check it out, because we made some really good power on that thing on the stock motor, and it did live for longer than what we thought it would. I think it was like 40, 50 street hits at 40 pound. I don't know. It was quite a bit. So this is gonna, like I said, be to the extreme. So let me grab my stock head bolts. I was gonna buy a brand new set, but the dealer is closed today. This is Memorial Day, and as I'm closed, I'm working on my own project. So I have a set of stock head bolts here. I'm gonna just reuse them, put them on it. Got obviously brand new stock head gaskets, and I'm gonna get this thing assembled into a long block. My oil pan for this thing is actually being hot tanked, so I'm not gonna get that back till tomorrow, so this thing can't go until tomorrow. So you're gonna see some change in some Golding attire between the 2 days. So enough talking. Drop down below. What do you guys think? You excited for this? You're probably gonna say you think it's dumb, which that's okay. You know what? At the end of the day, I just want to see what it'll do. Put my tuning skills to the test. Try my best. This car does have a Motec ECU. I'm going to be mindful of some other areas in there. Obviously, there's going to be some differences of tuning this on stock ECU versus Motec. So that's going to be interesting. I think you guys will enjoy it. So let's get all set up. Let's get these heads onto this block. We're going to do a little bit of time lapsing in there, show you guys this thing going together, so that way there is no questions. It is a stock motor. And then hopefully this thing leaves the line. Now this is how I like to start out every engine build, guys. Have a nice table, lay everything out, and obviously have the engine on the engine stand. I know I've never really gone over this, but it's definitely nice just to have everything laid out, and then you can go ahead and work in a clean area. As you guys probably already guessed here, you know, obviously I've been doing this for long enough that I do build out of boxes. So all my bolts for the engines always are in boxes. I just found that's a nice, neat way when you take your car apart. I have one for engine pull, one for engine teardown. It just makes it really easy. That way you can go ahead and lay out bolts in different areas. Obviously I can tell the difference, but like I said, makes my job easier. in front of me here, I have those stock used head bolts. These are going to be the ones that we're going to be using for this. And then I have a stock set of OEM STI head gaskets right here. So I know some of you are like, how the hell are those and this and that gonna work in there? Well, we're about to see how well it will work. I have intentions of getting this thing all together. Obviously, it's not going to be able to run 60 plus PSI that it has. We're going to turn this thing down. I believe the gate springs, I did put the bigger ones back in it later on in this year. So if I had to recall, I think it's 20 pounds or 22 pounds on gate on this thing. So we'll turn it down the gate, put this thing on the dyno, break this thing in a bit like that. I think I've talked about this in the past and some of you guys have heard it. I know some caught on that this is not an RA short block, and you're like, well, this thing's not going to make any power at all. You know, it's not so much that the RA short blocks, how may I put this? The RA short blocks are not the fix all. You know, I always try to go over this and explain this for the stock motor stuff. If your car comes with a stock motor and you have parts and you want to enjoy them with the idea and knowing that you're going to end up putting a built motor in it later on, 100% go ahead and do that. If you have lost a motor in your car and you are going through the process of doing a motor build in your car with the knowledge that you have aftermarket parts, or you are going to mod it later on for more power than, you know, stock form, I would 10 out of 10 recommend doing a built engine then. Doing something like this where I'm putting a stock motor in my race car, obviously not ideal for any of you guys. This is just for enjoyment and for me to do. That's the same conversation I have with customers too, guys, is if they have lost a motor, put a built motor in a car, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna mod it or want to do more power down the road. Doesn't make sense to put a stock motor in a car. But if it already has a stock motor and you got the time and, like I said, you got the money and you don't care what happens, then more power to you. I got plenty of those customers that want to make power on stock motors. So here we are, laid out. Gonna go ahead, put you guys on time lapse, start getting this thing assembled. I just wanted to be able to show you that it is indeed a stock head gasket, stock head bolt. You're gonna see these go on. I'm not gonna cut any weird areas. You're gonna see it. I'm gonna overview it. That way we can see, we're gonna see together what they'll do. I've made good power on these before, obviously on stock long blocks, so we'll see what happens today.
I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, all set, I'm on a chase. I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, all set, I'm on a chase. That's the way. I said I'ma do it, I'ma get it anyways. All I do is work, I got this money on my brain. I don't like to talk, I just got way too much at stake. They been trying to get me, I'ma get them out of way. I said I'ma do it, I'ma go and get it back. We got in a whip, then I went and hit the dash. I've been thanking God for this life that I done had. I don't need opinions, dog, I only need the facts. What's real, dog? Sitting still, dog. They in they feels, dog. I got these bills, dog. Need a meal, dog. If they wantin' less, it's no deal, dog. I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, all set, I'm on a chase. I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, all set, I'm on a chase.
And there we have it, guys. We have a bare long block right now. I do want to touch up on the topic of exhaust cams on this thing, because you guys probably already know this car is single ABCS, so it doesn't utilize the exhaust cam gears, and you'll probably see that later on when you see this thing in a timed long block. So I just want to address that now. I did go ahead and switch the 17 STI camshaft here to an 05 STI camshaft, so that way you can see, still stock. Everything is together now, as you guys saw there. Just went ahead and did that in a time lapse for you. I do need to get the rest of this long block together, but just wanted to touch base on that in case you guys see that later, that this thing does not have dual ABCS cam gears on the bottom, and you're like, what the heck? That is why. So went ahead and, like I said, got the heads all done there. Everything's just finished up torquing them. Gonna spin this thing over, get the oil pump on the front, start tackling some of the timing on the front. Normally I would do the bottom, but like I said, I don't got my oil pan, so I'm gonna have to wait for that for tomorrow. But let's go ahead and get the oil pump on the front, get the timing components on the front, and get this thing into a timed long block. A couple hours later, got it all ready to go for the car. Only thing I'm missing is, like I said before, I am missing the oil pan for this thing, unfortunately, so I'm not gonna be able to get this into the car tonight. Definitely would have been able to get this thing in and probably get it running, but complete long block. What's up, guy?
What up?
How long do you think this thing's gonna live?
Hopefully at least a couple passes.
I'm fingers crossed. Give me 2 passes. That's all we need.
That's all we need.
2. 1, go faster than record. 2, send it. I think we should buy a fire extinguisher. Put in this bitch. All right. Yeah, I guess I could flip it over for you guys, since she is all ready to go. Bam, all together. Time done. 100% ready to drop in, other than an oil pan, which tomorrow morning I'll go get it, and I'll yell at Matt that he made me wait all weekend. Good morning, boys. Back in the shop this morning. Went ahead and got that oil pan. I did go ahead and pull it even further apart and pull this assembly out because there's still some metal in there from obviously our last failure. And here we are, got the pickup on there. I did have to use a Killer Bee baffle on here because IAG is actually out of stock on theirs right now, and mine, she ain't looking too hot. Here, I'll grab it. I was gonna put it in the showcase, so this shit's fucked up. So here's mine from old Rod that came out and destroyed her life. So that's the original one that was in it. I can't obviously use that. I mean, I could probably pound it down, but that's obviously not what I'm gonna do. So I used the Killer Bee one. Big thanks to Justin there. He had a spare one. I just gotta replace it. And I would have put the IG one in there, but they're just out of stock. So got that all done. Everything's torqued. Getting ready to throw the pan on. Figured I'd show you guys that. But this thing is ready to go in. Before it does go in, I had a comment come up about porting on the heads. So I just want to show on the camera here that you can still see the casting marks on it. These heads are 100% stock, so that way if the question does come up, I can show you before it's in the car, and obviously then I can't show you then because everything will be together. So let me toss this pan on. I do love this O-ring design. Not sure how many more times I'll be able to use the same O-ring, but we're gonna throw it on the way it is. Put it in the car. It's not like this thing's gonna live the longest life, but if she can get us through a couple passes and have some fun, that's all I want out of it. All right, so I got the oil pan on. I did get the header on here as well. A lot of people are asking what header we're gonna be using. This car uses its own custom turbo kit I've had for many years. So the header is obviously part of that. That is all on. It's on the hoist now, getting ready to go in the car. As you can see, everything looks like it should. I got our Exetti triple all laid out here, and I was cleaning it off because it had some oil on it from the last motor failure that we had. So some of you might have picked up in that video of that last pass, it's actually started to slip the clutch because it was getting oil on it. That's part of why I let off. Gonna go ahead and get the clutch on, get this thing tossed in, probably jump right through this. You guys seen me put a bunch of motors in before. This one's probably gonna take a little bit longer, and I'd like today of getting it together just because there's so much cleaning that needs to be done to go through it. I know, probably gonna be doing the same cleanup here next week. So that's all right. We're gonna get the clutch put on, get this thing ready to go, and I'll probably jump ahead later on when it's pretty much complete. Look who came and joined the party.
Perfect timing.
So while he's doing that, you're gonna see Jared in the background. Car is 100% back together. Just did oil priming on the car right now with a mechanical fuel pump. I do need to go ahead and prime that system because it won't start. It just gets an air pocket in it. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll do first startup on video, see what the scene is like. Still has the map that was on the car when it went to the track class. It was on par of doing an 860. There's obviously gonna be some changes that need to be done because it doesn't have camshafts, and not having aftermarket camshafts, obviously air fuel trims are gonna be a bit off, but that's why we have correction on the Motec. So once he's done here, I'm gonna prime this fuel system, and we'll do our first startup. All right, I figured I'd just set the camera up here because priming the fuel system, I'm gonna have to hit it with some starting fluid, which means it's technically gonna start, and we're gonna have to shut it back down because I have a fuel line disconnected right now. So I'm just gonna put you guys up on the GoPro stand. That way you can see the first start with us on here. There's obviously gonna be a ton of stuff that needs to burn off because when I pulled this thing apart, it did have a bunch of coolant and an exhaust. So you guys are gonna see quite a bit of smoke, but let's go ahead and prime this fuel system. Let me set this thing up here. Let's see, we got a geyser. Here we go.
Underneath.
What? Which one now?
Dude, I don't know. This one's directly underneath.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tighten that one.
Fuck, I needed that on video. I forgot to tighten that one.
God damn it!
Not the ignite. Damn, that one's fucking damn near impossible to get to too. I don't know how I'm gonna tighten that one. Damn,
Do you have to pull the manifold?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Damn, Ricky, there's only one left loose. Fuck.
I thought you said you didn't touch any of them.
Well, this one I did. How am I gonna tighten that? Well, good thing we worked the coolant system. Fuck. Take 30.
Where's your fire extinguisher in case of a fireball?
Remy used them all. No,
Yeah, that's the problem.
they're over in the other shop. Where they should be, right? Adjusted. Here's a quick way to know how good it sounds. Motor sounds good. Fuck, can't see. Oh, nice, they're burning. Everything's burning off now. So I just thought we had a bunch of fuel leaks. That's my fault. I didn't tighten that sitting underneath the intake manifold, but these together, we'll let it bleed the coolant system. We are at obviously the rich side. Give her a little rev for you. Likes to hang the throttle open. Alright, after a little bit of adjusting on the computer, she is idling nice and purdy now. So just had to make some changes. Obviously it needs some fuel adjustments, needs some cam timing adjustments as well, but she is up and running. Good. We are at 14.2 here at idle, 192 degrees, 45 psi oil pressure. She is completely warm. I am bleeding the coolant system, and then we'll be putting on a dyno. I usually don't put them on the dyno as slick, but I'm going to put it on and roll it and see how it does. I don't see why it's going to affect it on the slicks on the dyno, but I'll watch them closely to see if they start to show signs of having issues. These slicks are 3 years old anyways, so I mean, worst case, if I do damage them, I'll buy a new set for next year. But I really obviously don't want to damage them. So I'm pretty happy about this. She sounds good now.
Let's get it.
Got it. Just bleeding off real quick. So she sounds real good. Good morning, boys. Welcome back. Trying to put all this into one video for you guys. So last night we ended it out on getting this thing ready to go on the dyno. Figure I'd be nice to the neighbors and not dyno this last night. It was around 7:30 when I got it on. So just came in early this morning. She's on dyno ready to go. I did opt to change out the tires just because I know I shouldn't run slicks on the dyno. You know, there's risks that come with that, and it takes me no time to put the right wheels on it. So went ahead and just threw the stock wheels on the car, and we will be starting there today. I left the straps loose overnight. Everything is ready to go this morning. We will see what the stock motor has to give us. Now, I don't intend to go for a number on the dyno today, and I know that's going to come to a surprise to a lot of you, but that's not my main goal today. You know, I put this motor in the car not so much to make a dyno number, but just to go out, race, finish off my season, and have fun. That's the main reason why I put this motor in here. So it doesn't make sense for me, obviously, just to turn it up until it breaks on the dyno. Now, that is a risk that could happen today, is that we could have an issue on the dyno. My intentions for this right now, like I said, I had put a bigger wastegate spring back in it that was originally in it. This is a twin scroll setup. It does have 1.4 bar of spring in it, so it's around 20 pounds what gate is. I left those in it. I know before on 12 pounds of spring, the car made like 450 or 480 Mustang on the built motor, but keep in mind that is a motor that is efficient for the turbo setups on the car, bigger camshafts to flow the air that this turbo is going to push. So things are going to be a bit different today. I already see some changes. Obviously, at idled, I had to change for air fuel trims, made some adjustments there, made some adjustments to cam timing as well, to go ahead and prepare this thing for the stock motor. So we're going to be starting out on wastegate today. I'm going to do some drivability just like we're on the road, compression brake it, brand new motor, guys. So obviously, you know, some of a break-in is going to help us, especially being this OEM short block. You know, I usually say something with more miles is more ideal, this pushed on, because it's ran and clearances loosen over time. You know, the more miles something has on it, obviously things are going to wear, and that gives us looser clearances. This being brand new, not the most ideal situation because it's going to be super tight. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, kind of do some driving on it. Now, it's not going to give it 20,000 miles of use, obviously, but if I can compression brake it, tip into it a little bit, at least get some form of a braking on it before we just hit it with old big 76 mil here. So let's go ahead, let the scene warm up this morning. I'm gonna get the dyno synced, get everything ready to go. I'll probably save you guys through a lot of the drivability stuff. I don't really plan to do drivability, so say, because it's not like I drive this thing on the street. It's mainly just a go drag car. But I will have a GoPro on the inside and on the outside today for you, because this has the cage mount, I think, still in it, if I remember. Looks like it still does right there. So as long as it's got the pin, then I can have 2 cameras for you guys today. So let me fire the scene up, let it warm up. We'll get this party started. Bit colder this morning. She shows 66 degrees. Takes a moment to start, boys, because it does have the mechanical fuel pump on it with no lift pump. So I'm gonna have to crank it for a moment here. If you watch fuel pressure, which is in that top right corner, it will slowly start to build. So here you go. Make sure it's neutral. It built pretty quick today. It's gonna take a moment, and then she'll pop. Come on, girl. She cold. There's the pop. Almost. Well, it's safe to say I'm gonna need to work on the cold start. Holy shit. Come on, bitch. Really? Almost. We're there, come on. tipped into there. Everything's looking spot on and good to go. Just letting it cool down a little bit right now. Oil temps are getting a little bit warmer, so now that we're good there, I guess I'm just gonna call it there. I mean, it's already seeing close to 7,000 RPM already, just tipping into it right there. So this turbo, I imagine, stock motor, stock cams, maybe 65 is where it's gonna come in. So we'll see what happens. This is gonna be the first power pole right now. Might abandon it early if we see a lot of boost, but seems like it's doing all right now. I think I saw around 12, maybe 14 pounds when I was tipping into it on those poles. But then again, it could be continuing to light the turbo. So like I said, just letting it cool down for a moment. Then we're gonna do the first power pole. We'll see where we are together. I'll have the camera running on the inside too. I'll probably rev it out on the first one, to about 75. See what happens there. But let's see what happens. Let this GoPro charge because it looks like it's about to die. First pole done. I made 368, 298. I don't have a boost reference for you guys on the dyno because everything's AN on this car. I saw 20 pounds up here. Gonna have to lean it out a little bit up top. It was like 1080 up there. So I'm gonna pull some fuel out up top. I'm gonna go ahead and review the log. I'm gonna let this GoPro charge real quick, but go over some things. And yeah, I mean, at least it's 20 pounds on gate. So that's a decent start. Would like to see more power on that boost, but again, we got stock cams, stock ports, so I'm gonna be down on power compared to what we normally are because I can rev it out so much further. So let's adjust this and see how some things go, and I'm gonna let this GoPro charge. All right, once again, I'm gonna have to let it warm up a little bit, cool down quite a bit right there as I was adjusting some things. I did lower the RPM limiter down finally to 8,500. Like I said, I don't really want to hit it, but that's where it is right now. Last pull, we made 368, 298 torque. I should have showed that, but sorry. So right now, I'm just letting it warm up a little bit more, and we'll do this pull. See where you are. Looks like we're good to go, boys. So I made some changes to the map. Like I said, it was pretty rich. It was like 1080, which isn't terrible, but it was richer than what I was targeting. So I leaned it out there. I pulled some timing out at peak torque, which it looks like it's coming in right at 6,900 right now. As we introduce more boost, that's gonna move out. So I revved it to 7,700 right there. I'm gonna rev it out probably around 8,000 right now and see how the car reacts. I put the target up to 24 pounds. It was about 18 pounds right there. Going up to 24, it's going to introduce a little bit of wastegate duty, but we'll see if it meets our target. So letting it warm up. Getting thing dialed in, still on the rich side. 461, 303. You can see obviously old girl just wants to keep revving. That was out to about 8,400 there, 8,300. and you can tell our graph is just straight up. So that is going to be some of the issue with this turbo. Obviously, we're revving her pretty far out. 8341 is what it's showing there. So this is going to be a battle. A little bit, obviously, a very big turbo for the stock motor. It would be more ideal if I stepped it down, but where's fun in that? I like making things hard. So tune's pretty much dialed on the car. Do I really want to fucking send it on the dyno? Yeah, heart, but other hand, it's ready to go right now. 461, it's like 550. Not even leaning on her at all, really. I mean, yeah, we are at stock motor, but I could go a lot harder on it. It's like 25 pounds. All right, well, let me look at the log, make a decision here, see what we can come up with. Letting it cool down after that. Cleaning it up, I need to look at the log, but not bad, guys. 556, 402, rubbing it out there. You can see 83, and you can see power's laying down up top, which stock camshaft, I'm not too surprised. Yes, I know it says I have a large turbo, but at the end of the day, it's the efficiency range of the engine and camshaft is just not going to be there. So I am going to look at this to see if it went rich up there, and look over it. You know, I can always add more boost up there. This is on 30 pounds right now, 556. Give you an idea, with a 13%, it's like 630 right now. Not bad. We do have some room to go. Everything looks good. Car's doing good. Motor's doing good. Like I said, just need to look over the log, see how everything's going. The efficiency of the engine is obviously down drastically from where we were, with having ported heads, big cams, everything to sustain it. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this GoPro in again so I can keep recording for you guys, and we'll see what happens. All right, I was letting the laptop and GoPro charge. So went ahead and looked over the log. 30 PSI was what it held out through that pole. Did get a bit rich up top. I am playing in a bit safe with timing, as I probably already mentioned. So I went ahead and added a couple degrees back in. I leaned it out up there again. Inevitably, it's most likely gonna lay down up top with these stock camshafts anyways, and stock heads in general. Some of it could be valve float too, just because we are revving it pretty far. As you can see there, 8,000, we're like 83 is where we are. So inevitably it's gonna probably lay down no matter what, but I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pick it up back there right now. Some of that comes with tuning as well. Obviously, stock motor, I can't just hit it with all the boost at once. I gotta kind of be gentle and ramp it in. So I went ahead and ramped some boost in right now. We're gonna get this party started. I'm hoping this is the last pull, and then we can just pull it off and be done and be ready to go out and race. So I've been letting it cool down for a bit. I'm gonna change that dash in the car. You guys have probably seen that thing flash a jillion times. I finally fixed it because I actually went in and changed the settings on it to where the shift lights more, because this car obviously had a dog box before. Stock trans, we're revving it further than what we were in the dog box, so that's why you guys always saw the lights on, because they were set to the lower RPM. Now, here we are again, revving to that lower RPM. I'm gonna drop the shift lights down, have everything ready on the dash, that way I can monitor things a little bit more, move the limiter up a little bit more. We're gonna see if it'll pick it up in the back. So let me adjust this dash, and we'll do our hopefully last pull on the dyno, and then we'll save this shit for the track. ending that poll out there, I've already looked at the data log. It is very apparent that we have a flow issue, which, big surprise, right, with stock cylinder heads and stock camshafts. You can see here we made 657, 458. That is on 40 pounds of boost, boys. So as you can tell, we have some inefficiency. 7,500, looks like 77 is the peak, and then it lays over no matter what. So I know I'm gonna have to be all in around that RPM. Not the most ideal turbo setup for something that we're trying to do with a stock motor. To be honest with you, this thing would do a lot better with like a 60, I'd say a 62 to 68 mil turbo versus a 76. It's just too big for it. Has a big exhaust housing as well. It's not set up for this at all. Obviously, I have much other intentions of this car, but this is just for fun. I really wish I had a smaller hot side. I have a 128 on it right now, which is as big as you can go. A 115, you know, I'd probably get us maybe a couple hundred RPMs of difference, but I don't think it would help us too much. Definitely it would be nice if I had a smaller turbo, but I don't want to completely change this turbo kit for no reason. I have other intentions later on with a stock motor build that you guys will soon find out about, because I have that coming up in the near future, but just want to be as transparent as possible. So up here it did go quite a bit rich. It was 1080 up here. What I'm really finding out, obviously, like I said, we have a efficiency issue here. Smaller camshaft, it's not moving as much air, has too much fuel because I'm adjusting the map that was on the car. So I was at 1080 up here, 1060 at the end, so I'm pulling that back, pull some of that fuel out of there, try to get it in like the 1140 to 1160 region, and then see if that picks that up a little bit there. I did add another degree up there. We'll see, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's gonna be inevitable that it's gonna lay over up top. That's just what it can do with the camshaft it has and the flow it has. So went ahead and revised it. I'm gonna let the car warm up because it's been a little bit since I did the last poll. This will indeed be the last poll. I'm done. Not gonna really shoot for like a dyno number, so say. I'm just want the car to work, go to the track. Next thing is gonna be launch control, which I'll probably put on camera for you guys in case something happens. Really leery of that. That's probably my biggest worry. I don't want to bend the rod on launch control. So let me let this thing warm up. Let's do this last pull, get it over with, and get this party started. All right, girl, let's see what we got. There we have it. Damn, boy. Just to give you an idea, 775. Just to make it even worse, let's see what it made if I added a 13. Not bad, a little stocky. Not bad if I'd say so. Pretty happy. I'm leaving it there. I'm done. That should be around 42 pounds. Woo! Still got it, baby. And those of you who want to see the overflow, here you go. Still at her spot. Right where she's supposed to be. Right at the full mark. Yeah. That's a good day. Figure I need to end this video out for you guys. I'm just wrapping up for today. I'm going to leave EA here. Do its first oil change after the dyno. And then we will be going to the track day. I'll leave it until the track day video to do the launch control on this thing. really hope that we don't just yeet a rod out of this thing on launch control. I'm gonna really have to dial things back. As you can tell by the graph, power band, not the most ideal. It is a drag car, but we have a very small window there of RPM we got to manage to keep this thing in, and obviously when you shift it, it's going to fall down in the RPM range. So we'll see how things go in the end, guys. I know it's probably a little bit repetitive, but this is just for fun, literally just for fun. I have another project that will take this motor if it comes out in somewhat of usable manner, which I'm not expecting it to. I'm not expecting it to last. I don't recommend doing this for a customer. I don't recommend spending money what most would say to waste it on this. This is just me having fun of things I had laying around the shop, with the exception of the short block, which that's all right. We're just gonna use that just to have fun. So we have 2 more race days out of the year. That's part of why I put this in here, because it would have taken longer to get me a ported head in the time frame of our last race days, and I would have had to end my year out, which would have been great. We've done a lot of good things with this thing this year, learning this car, further my knowledge on the Motec software in the car, further knowledge on the car and suspension base. Big shout out once again, guys, over to Import Image for helping us out with the suspension on the car. I mean, everything about the car has been a huge learning success this year, and it would have been great even ending the year out with a personal best of 8-second pass, but this is just for fun. I don't believe we're going to go anywhere near an 8-second pass with this little stock motor, much less if we can get into the 9s, that'll be sick. But small power band, I don't know what to expect from it. We'll see if we can even make it down the track without pushing coolant out or causing some sort of an issue. So gonna leave you guys on that edge there. Till next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, being very transparent about it and just having fun. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you on the track. I'm gonna throw this in here just as a little ended off clip. So this is the last time this car was on the dyno. It made 1165 Mustang on 65 pounds. And I'm just gonna overlay the graphs from the stock motor to show you guys, because it's pretty interesting. So with the built engine, built heads, obviously, race port, race cams, it actually was coming into power quite a bit sooner, which is pretty interesting. Moving the air, obviously a lot faster, and that's been very apparent today. We have an airflow issue, which no real surprise there. Stock camshafts and stock ports were gigantic turbo that's trying to move a lot of air. No real surprise, but just to show you the difference in a power band there. Could have revved it out further, but that day I'm just let off a little bit early. But there you are, ended out, boys. Hopefully enjoyed all the data.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you lemons, you just put them in Coronas, Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus, the bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, fast lane. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. Life up in the fast lane, fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground,